Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Rama
Ram
Nam
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna Hare
Nam
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Rama
Krishna
Nam
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Ram Hare
Nam
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Rama
Ram Hare
Nam
Ram
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 Ram Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Rama
Ram
Nam
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Nam
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Nam
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Ram Hare
Nam
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Nam Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Nam Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Nam
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Nam
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Nam
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Nam
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Nam
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Nam
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Nam Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Nam Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Nam
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Nam
Hare
Ram
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Rama Nam Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Nam
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Nam
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare
Nam
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Jai Shri Krishna
Hare Ram
Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Nam Ram Ram
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Advaita
Hare
Gadadhar
Krishna Hare
Sivasati
Krishna Krishna
Gaurabatamba
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Namacharya
Ram
Haridas
Ram
Thakur
Ram
की
Ram
जय भक्ति देवी
Hare
तुलसी
Krishna
नारायण
Hare
की जय
Krishna Krishna
जगत
Krishna
गुरु
Hare
शिल
Hare Hare
प्रभुपाद
Ram
शिल
Hare Nam
गुरुदेव की
Ram
जय
Ram
श्री
Hare
यमुने
Hare Hare
महारानी की
Krishna Hare
जय
Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Nam Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Nam
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Nam
Hare Ram
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 Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Chaitanya
Hare
Nityananda
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
पाञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Yashomati from Chicago. Once again, welcoming all of you to the mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session and giving your very beautiful association. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next part of the session, which is Sri Caitanya Bhagavat. May I know who all have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna, Shrimati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi Mataji, sorry. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and many services to this Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirti Dasundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Devidasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and giving your very valuable time and association. Hare Krishna, Mataji, very nice services and your very nice classes. I love that. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Bangalore.
Hare Krishna, Neetu Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Devidasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and very valuable time in association. And Mataji, sorry, since last 2 times I couldn't attend your class, Mataji. I'm so sorry, I missed that. Hare Krishna, but I listened on the YouTube. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Devidasi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining every day and giving your very valuable time and association and very nice services you do. And I am so grateful because you just did this Bhakti Sangha. So I am so grateful to you, Mataji. Koti Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Koti Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and giving your very valuable time and very beautiful chanting, Mataji, every day. Hare Krishna. I have to inspire by you. Mataji, we all inspired by each other, Mataji. Koti Dandavat Pranam. Koti Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Is there anybody in the call who would like to introduce?
Quote for today, Mataji.
Yeah, so before we start our class, I would like to read today's quote by our Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Maharaj. October 13, a pure devotee is he who loves Krishna without any material desire. Such pure devotees are very rare, but by the grace of Krishna, practically all the devotees and disciples who have kindly joined me, their symptoms are pure devotees. Even if they have got some ulterior desire, that will be removed very soon because they have taken to the pure process of Krishna consciousness. Letter to Janki, October 13, 1968. Very nice quote. We have a hope given. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Bhakti Sangha. We are so fortunate to have His Grace, Shri Jivana Gaura Hari Prabhuji, on the topic of Adi Khanda, on the topic of Caitanya Bhagavata Adi Khanda, chapter 13, verses 19 to 42. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you very much for giving your very valuable time and association to this morning and enlightening us on this topic. Now I hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Yasomati Mataji. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, I welcome all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who have come here to hear about the glories of Lord Chaitanya, especially the Leela of Lord Chaitanya defeating Tikvijayi Kesava Kashmiri. So this chapter, Caitanya Bhagavat, chapter 13, so it gives us a deep instruction to us in our practical day-to-day life, how to be humble. And if we are not humble, Krishna will make us humble. So we will venture into this session. It's actually a practical guiding session for all of us in the path of devotional service. So we will go to the verse, 19th verse. Kena kale tatayaka mahadigvijayi aila parama ahankara jukta hoy. In the meantime, a proud champion of learning arrived in Navadip. So he was the champion of champions. Who? Tikvijayi Kesava Kashmiri. So he was traveling in all the directions, defeating all the scholars, right from Kasi to Kanchipuram, from Kashmir, and now he is venturing into Navadvip. So wherever he goes, he used to demand that you be defeated and you have to sign the Jayapatra. The most embarrassing thing is that once defeated, those Pandit naturally has to become a disciple of this Tikvijayi. So it was an embarrassing moment for all the Pandits. So either they would flee out of the town, or they would make an alternate arrangement in such a way that they don't want to become his disciple. So this champion of champions, because actually Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, whenever they enact some pastime, they actually enact pastime with the most powerful person. So here actually Nimai, he was enacting his pastime as a Pandit. He was a great Pandit, Nimai. So when he was enacting the Pandita pastimes, the Vidya scholarly pastime, he was defeating almost all of the Pandits at Navadip. But now actually both things, one is actually Tikvijayi Kesava Kashmiri, he entered into Navadip to increase his reputation. But here Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Lord, he is an autocrat. Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is an autocrat in the sense actually everything belongs to them. But actually this pastime is to enact the supremacy of Lord Krishna, supremacy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Saraswati mantrera ekanta upashaka mantra japi Saraswati kori leka basha. So he was a staunch devotee of Goddess Saraswati. By chanting her mantra, he had won her favor. So we know that in Bhagavad Gita, for all the departments of power and knowledge, they naturally had to be bestowed by the mercy of the 33 crore demigods in whichever department they want to shine. And naturally, this 33 crore demigod, they are naturally dependent on Krishna to get those power. So here, actually many lessons one can learn in this pastime. So here we can see that Tikvijayi Kesava Kashmiri, he was not a devotee of Krishna, he was a staunch devotee of Goddess Saraswati. So Saraswati, we all know that she is the department of learning. That means the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Finance is with Lakshmi. The Home Ministry is with Durga Devi. All major departments are with Matajis. So here, naturally, Tikvijayi Kesava Kashmiri, so he was a staunch devotee of Saraswati because Saraswati was residing in his tongue, and whatever he recited, that was unrefuted by all the Pandit. So that's why actually he could conquer in all the direction. So he had so much wisdom, he had so much knowledge, and he was also empowered by Goddess Saraswati. So who can stand before him and then engage in a debate? Vishnu Bhakti Swarupini Vishnu Bhakshashrita Murti Bede Rama Saraswati Jaganmata. Saraswati is the personification of devotional service to Lord Vishnu. Being non-different from Lakshmi, she eternally resides on the chest of Lord Vishnu. She is the mother of the universe. So here, we all know that Saraswati is also non-different from Lakshmi. And we also know that Lakshmi is expansion of Srimati Radharani, and Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the combination of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. So we all know that how Saraswati is an eternal maid servant of Nimai. So this is the past time, because actually Nimai defeated many Pandits in Navadip. But here actually this is an interesting incident, because here there is a debate between a person, because in the material world everything has to be measured, you know. So in that way, the person who has conquered all direction, so he is approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead for debate. So in that way, actually, though Nimai defeated all of the Pandits at Navadip, here actually the significance is given to Keshava Kashmir. Because that's why, because actually if Nimai could defeat Keshava Kashmiri, then actually, naturally everyone, they were attracted to study Sanskrit grammar under Nimai Pandit, because actually it was the center of learning, the Sanskrit language. It is very, very intricate. Many things, actually a person has to study at least 12 years of Sanskrit, so that after that he can venture into the Vedic literature, so that it is easily understandable. But on the other hand, Nimai, he was born in a Brahmana family. We all know that the prime duty of a Brahmana is that he has to study, and then later he has to teach. Now actually Nimai, till the age of 11, he was studying under the guidance of Gangadas Pandit under the Chandi Mandap of Mukunda Sanjay. At the age of 11, he started his own school. He was teaching. Brahmana means they have to study and they have to teach. They have to accept charity and they have to give charity. So this is the beauty of Brahminical family. So education. Everyone wants to be educated. And Mahaprabhu was enacting that pastime. Bhagya Bashe Brahmanera Pratyaksha Hoila Tribhuvana Dik Vijayi Kori Baradila. Due to the Brahmana's great fortune, she appeared before him and blessed him to conquer the three worlds. Yeah, certainly, if one gets the favor of Lakshmi or gets the favor of Saraswati, certainly they are considered to be most fortunate. But here, the pride of Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri being crushed by Lord Nimai, that is considered to be the most fortunate incident, because it paves the way for him to receive the real transcendental knowledge. What is the purpose of reading Sanskrit? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, no? In Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, verse 15, Vedaishcha sarvai rahamyeva vedyo. By Vedas, I have to be understood. I am the compiler of the Vedas. I know all the Vedas. So they have to receive that transcendental knowledge, and it should culminate in worshipping Krishna. So he has not come to that position, Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri. So Mahaprabhu, actually, this is actually, though apparently it may be seen that Nimai is debating with Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri to increase his reputation. but internally it is only the mercy being bestowed upon him to bring Digvijaya Keshava Kashmiri for his standard of learning to culminate to worship Krishna. So in Lord Chaitanya's pastime, whoever follows him, they are considered to be the most fortunate. Whoever comes under the orbit of Guru, whoever comes under the disciplic succession of Mahaprabhu, they are considered to be the most fortunate. The most fallen is considered to be the most fortunate in Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. So due to his pride, he was exhibiting his reputation, Digvijaya Keshava Kashmiri. But somehow or other, actually, he got the real mercy of Mahaprabhu bestowed through Saraswati Devi to approach Nimai at the bank of the Ganges. Jara Drishti Patamatre Hoi Vishnu Bhakti Digvijayi Bharava Tahan Kon Sakti. What is the difficulty for her to bless one to become a champion of learning when simply by her merciful glance one achieves devotional service to Lord Vishnu? Like Saraswati Devi, she can give devotional service to Lord Vishnu. Saraswati Devi can give devotional service to Lord Krishna. And that is considered to be the turning point, because if sometime a person repeatedly worships a demigod, the demigod, when they give him the real blessing, he comes to the platform of devotional service. That is considered that he has achieved the perfection of life. He has got the right path. It doesn't mean that actually the track has gone somewhere. Generally, the demigod worshippers, when they come to worship Krishna, they say that sometimes we feel that our track has been changed. You know, it is actually the blessing of all the demigods that everyone should worship Krishna. So there was no difficulty for Saraswati Devi to bestow mercy upon Digvijaya Keshava Kashmiri, but some Leela has to be done here. So Digvijaya Keshava Kashmiri, so he was blessed by Krishna, the presence of 4 Kumaras, the Nimbarka Sampradaya Acharya. Krishna told that when I would descend in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you would be defeated by me. But prior to that, you would be conquering all the Panditas in all directions. And then you will take to the worship of Krishna. Pai Saras Batira Sakshate Baradan Samsara Jinia Vipra Bhule Stane Stan. After directly receiving the benediction of Goddess Saraswati, the Brahmana traveled from province to province, defeating the local scholars wherever he went. So actually, we can see that actually how pride can make one forget Krishna. So he collected many Jayapatras. All the leading Pandits, they would get defeated and they would sign in the Jayapatra. It is his habit that actually he would stock the Jayapatra at his residence to increase his reputation. So externally, apparently, it may seem that he was influenced by the materialistic symptom of learning. But actually, there is a great loss. Everyone will lament if they achieve the stage of bhava. Because when they achieve the stage of bhava prior to prema, because in the bhava stage, the spiritual senses develop, then they start to lament that, oh, I have wasted my life. It comes genuinely from everyone's heart. So here actually, Mahaprabhu, because some generally for the pastimes to happen, there should be some background scene. So now he is debating with the greatest scholar. And actually his arrival to Navadip was with many elephants, horses, with so much opulence. that just by hearing the name Dikvijayi, the people of Navadip, they didn't remain in the town of Navadip. Sarva Sastra Jikvaya Aishe Nirantara Ena Nahi Jagate Je Dibeka Uttar. All the scriptures recited on the tip of his tongue. There was no one in the world who could answer his challenge. So, the wisdom, knowledge, debating in Sanskrit grammar, that is a great thing, because it has very, very intricate meaning. To understand the Vedic literatures, there may be many contradictory meanings. Unless one is versed in Sanskrit language, they cannot properly comment on the Vedic literatures. The Acharyas, they have pure devotion to Krishna, and whatever they can read through the Sanskrit verses, they can dovetail everything, culminating in the devotional service of Lord Krishna. But he was a Sanskrit scholar. He knew Bhagavad Gita, he knew Bhagavatam, but still he was not executing his duty on the platform of devotional service. So even after reading Vedas, one can be misguided. Though this happened to Tapan Mishra, he was well versed in Vedic literatures. When Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Bangladesh, Tapan Mishra approached him, and then he humbly submitted to Mahaprabhu, saying that, I have read all the Vedas, but I don't know the purpose of Veda. I don't know the purpose of human form of life. He submitted. Chaitanya was stressing only this point: Golo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Gauro Krishna, Siksha. Chant the holy name of Krishna, worship Krishna, follow the instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So here Srila Prabhupada, with his translation and perfect, whoever reads, they naturally come to the conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the purpose of human form of life is to worship Him, and the ultimate aim is to develop love for Krishna. So here Tikkujayi, Keshava, Kashmiri. So the pride can happen in any way, because actually the concept of pure devotional service is derided if one develops the pride of learning, if one develops the pride of wealth, if one has the pride of being beautiful, if one has the pride of being born in an aristocratic family. He can have wealth, he can have bodily beauty, a person can have learning, a person can have many opulence. But in spite of that, to execute devotional service in the right platform, one has to follow in the mood of Akrura. There should be no designation. Sarvopadi Vinir Muktam. So this bodily designation, it is an impediment to advance in the path of Krishna Bhakti. Bhakti means to serve. Love means to serve. Devotional service means to serve. But what was being done by Tikvijayi, Keshava, Kashmiri was just only debating. He didn't serve. So it means that he has not reached the point of perfection. Jara kaksha matra nahi bhoje ko na jane digvijayi hoi bhole sarvastane stane. Many scholars were not even able to understand his questions. So he easily conquered the scholars wherever he went. Actually, as I told earlier, Mahaprabhu simplified everything. To read the Vedas, one has to study Sanskrit grammar for 12 years. But Mahaprabhu, he was giving a graduation certificate in Sanskrit learning in 2 months. Whoever came before him, within 2 months, they would become expertise in Sanskrit grammar. So we all know that in ISKCON, one of the leading sannyasis of Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Bhanuswami Maharaj. He is a Bhakti scholar in ISKCON movement. He was just asking the devotees for reading or studying Bhakti Shastri, how much time it would take. Everyone was saying that 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. For Bhagavad Gita, how much month? Maybe 3 to 6 months. Bhanuswami Maharaj told that 5 days is enough. So it means that actually the Bhakti scholar means actually what has to be done, what has to be learned. It has to be precise, because human form of life is very, very short. To understand Krishna is the supreme, to go into the depth. And that can be done only by persons who are well versed in scriptures, by their empowerment, by their speech. The power to speak is Krishna, the power to think is Krishna. One has to apply these two principles in terms of devotional service while reading scriptures. That's why just by reading Prabhupada books, we all know that even if a person reads one single small book, they come to the conclusion that worshipping Krishna is the highest form of perfection. So here Tikkajayi Keshava Kashmiri, the way in which he used to put his question in a scholarly way, and that too with his arrogance coming into the forefront, immediately the opponent would accept their defeat. Sunilena badanaba dvipera mahima pandita samaja joto tora nahi shima. He then heard about the glories of Navadip, wherein endless learned scholars resided. So at the time of Caitanya Mahaprabhu and before, a person who has learned Sanskrit grammar in Kashmir, in Kashi, in Kanjipuram, and in Navadip, they were considered to be renowned scholars. They would easily get bride in marriage if they say that we are educated from this center of learning, from this center of excellence. Tikkajayi Keshava Kashmiri, prior coming to Navadip, he went to all parts of India. Wherever there is a center of learning, he would defeat, and at last only he came to Navadip. So it means that practically he has conquered all parts of India. Then only he later came to Navadip, because he also heard that Nimai, he was in a playful mood, and then with his debate, then he was given the title Pandit. So he was Nimai Pandit. And how Nimai Pandit would debate, no one would feel bad or no one would feel upset. With his gentle behavior, Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, he would defeat all the scholars in Navadip. But in the case of Tikkajayi Keshava Kashmiri, actually he was defeating with the proud, with arrogance. Parama Samrita Ashwa Gaja Jukta Hoy Shabajini Navadvipe Gela Digvijayi. Thus, after conquering all other provinces, the champion scholar came to Navadip along with his opulent entourage, which included horses and elephants. So like a king, he was venturing into Navadip. So with all the paraphernalia like horses, with elephant, and then carrying loads and loads of Jayapatras. So after many Pandits, they signed the Jayapatra, he would collect them, and then it was his duty to show them to all the Pandits. See, I have defeated. This is generally, we can say, the materialistic conception. Like Prabhupada used to say, if one has opulence, then it is naturally his mentality to show it to others. So tons and tons of Jayapatra are also being carried to Navadip, because he came here only to increase his reputation and no other purpose. For all the living entities, Lord Krishna, he has his own plans. So that's why, whether helpfully or helplessly, one is acting only under the direction of Krishna. Either serving Krishna directly or serving indirectly Krishna with his illusory potency. Prati gore gore prati pandita shabai mahadvani upajila sarva nadi joy. As a result, a loud commotion arose in every house and every assembly of learned scholars in Nadia. It was the talk of the town. Digvijayi has entered into Navadvip. Digvijayi has entered into Navadvip. Alas, what will happen to our reputation? As told earlier, they have to become, if defeated, they have to become disciple of Digvijayi Keshava caste. So that's why we all know that the scholarly community of Navadip, they all assembled. And then they thought that it would be nice that actually Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri would debate with Nimai Pandit. Nimai Pandit, he was sitting on the bank of the Ganges with his students. He would discuss Sanskrit and then explain love for Krishna, service to Krishna. That's all. Sarva Rajya Deshajini Jaya Patraloi Navadvipe Ashi Jache Ek Digvijayi. People everywhere were heard saying a champion scholar has come to Navadip with a certificate of victory from scholars all over the country. So this was his habit, collecting Jayapatras. So naturally, they were embarrassed. So they came to the conclusion that here in Navadip, Nimai Pandit is the best scholar. So if he could defeat Digvijayi, then a small young boy from our scholarly community could defeat Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri. And if Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri can defeat Nimai Pandit, oh, he has defeated only a small one. So actually, it's like for a Kshatriya, if provoked, then naturally they tend to fight. And that's why actually if provoked, Yudhishthira Maharaj also gambled with the Duryodhana. So for the scholarly community, if provoked for debate, actually the person who has studied the Sanskrit grammar has to accept that debate. But in devotional service, we know that actually how Sanatan Goswami chastised Jiva Goswami for debating with a scholarly Pandit. No need to waste time. Rupa Sanatana, they were clear on that. Logical reasoning ends when one takes to spiritual life of Krishna consciousness. What is the purpose of debating? Because devotional service means to float in the ocean of bliss. And out of compassion, the acharyas have written literature so that we can also dive deep into the ocean of bliss. So actually, Mahaprabhu was giving mercy to all the living entities. So why Digvijayi Keshava Kashmiri should be exceptional? So this was the arrangement of Lord. Sarasvatira Baraputra Shuni Sarvachone Pandita Shabara Bada Chinta Hoilo Mane. When all the learned scholars of Navadip heard that he was favored by Saraswati, they began to worry because they have to naturally become his disciple. We all know that Krishna never steps out of Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu never steps out of Navadip. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because for the reputation of Navadip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to show his special mercy. So, but Saraswati residing in his tongue, he was able to defeat all the Pandits very easily. So, this was naturally causing anxiety to the residents of Navadip. Jambudvipe Joto Ache Panditera Sthana Shabajini Navadvipe Jagate Bakan. Of all places of learning throughout Jambudvip, Navadip is the best. Jambudvipe. Why Navadip? Because in Navadip, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has personally descended. So naturally, it was the best place of learning. And everyone would take transcendental pride that we are student of Nimai Pandit. So Nimai was attracting many students. Was attracting many students. Even while he was studying under Gangadas Pandit, he used to debate with his friendly scholars and he would defeat them. And after he started his own school, he started to debate with all the Bhattacharyas, Mishras, Brahmanas. What you have learned so far? Come on, say. Then they would say something. Then he would refute that. Then they would accept the defeat. Then he told, no, what I said is wrong. Then he would refute with another statement, defeating what he already said is not correct. So such was his scholarly pastime. But he was enacting in a gentle behavior. In Kali Yuga, actually, only competition, envy, jealousy. Even recently, one incident happened in South India. A person who used to score first rank, a boy, rivaled by a girl mother. She poisoned him and killed him, giving a cool drink. In material world, this is the problem. Getting first rank. So much jealous envy, killing the child. My daughter is only able to get a second rank or third rank. If I can kill this boy, my daughter reputation will increase. See how materialistic thought, very dangerous. In spiritual life, actually, in school, in college, everywhere, we are being conditioned and taught that we have to become first. But in spiritual life, we are taught to be humble. We may be first or we may not be first. That doesn't matter. But actually, a devotee should be humble. That's why Mahaprabhu, when he was enacting the scholarly pastime at Navadip, Ishwarapuri also came to Navadip. So Ishwarapuri, he was writing Krishna Leelamrita, and he used to give that book to Nimai Pandit. Please find some fault so that I can rectify. So Nimai was saying that actually you have pure love for Krishna. It is offensive. And then actually Mahaprabhu, since Ishwarapuri was stressing, no, proofreading means actually you have to find a fault. Even in writing articles in Back to God magazine, even if the articles are written by sannyasi, the duty of the proofreader, they have to find a fault and they have to inform it. So I mean the presentability, not in terms of philosophy, in terms of presentability. So Mahaprabhu, he found one fault. Atmane Pada. So Mahaprabhu was saying, can we use this right word? Okay, Ishwarapuri accepted. The next day morning, Ishwarapuri came to Nimai and told that, see, I was contemplating about the right use of the word, Atmane Pada, but that is the correct word. Then Mahaprabhu accepted the defeat. Mahaprabhu accepted defeat from Ishwarapuri. Why? because he has attained the highest perfection, pure love for Krishna. And when Mahaprabhu went to Gaya after marrying Lakshmi Priya, Ishwarapuri told to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to Nimai Pandit, you have what eligibility you have to read Vedanta philosophy. Just always chant the holy name Krishna. You are a fool. Then Mahaprabhu started to exhibit the symptoms of ecstatic love for Krishna. You can understand that. So, here we can see the two contradictions. Tikvijayi Keshava Kashmiri venturing into Navadip in order to get defeated by Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is getting defeated at the hands of Ishwarapuri. So through this we can also remember the incident of how Srila Prabhupada was defeated by his spiritual master Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The first freedom, then only the question of spreading Krishna consciousness will be significant. This was the statement given by Prabhupada to his spiritual masters. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur defeated him, saying that spreading the Krishna consciousness, the eternal dharma, does not depend upon the political or the economical or the social system. It is emergency. So actually, to advance in spiritual life, one need to be humble. Generally, people expect that for whatever devotional service they do, they have to be patted, it has to be acknowledged, and it has to be glorified, and it has to be praised. But on the other way, it's the duty of the spiritual master. They have to keep a lens to find only faults on the disciples, to be chastised, to make them humble. Spiritual life is dynamically opposite to the material life. Krishna says, from me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. The power to speak is Krishna, the power to think is Krishna. In Chennai, there was a famous heart surgeon, specialist doctor, who successfully transplanted many surgeries of heart, maybe 4,000 successful surgery. And immediately all his memory went out. He couldn't even identify who his wife is, children are. Till he is favored by Krishna, he can do surgery, that's all. If the memory is gone, Krishna says, from me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. The memory is gone, forgetfulness has come, that's all, chapter is finished. Sometimes even the expert doctors, surgeons, they after completing the surgery in the stomach, they used to keep scissors, something, and after 1 or 2 months they will feel pain, and then again they have to get operated. First we have to understand that actually we are always dependent on Krishna. One person was arguing with Prabhupada, you are saying that Krishna is supreme, everyone has to worship Krishna. I will not bow down my head to any person. Prabhupada was saying, whether you bow down to any person or not, you have to bow down your head to a barber. People would say that I have a lot of money in my bank. Why should I be dependent on others? Why should be I dependent on the Lord? I can maintain myself. But when there was a severe rain in Chennai, 4 or 5 years before, 20 feet of water was logging in the apartment. Everyone has to go to the top terrace and they have to beg food being thrown from the helicopter. They have to depend on Krishna only. No one can claim that I have a perfect knowledge. We are born into this world with ignorance, nescience. We even don't know who our father is. Unless we are told by mother, he is your father, then only we know that he is our father. We are born out of ignorance only. So no one can claim that I have a brilliant career in my education. We have to go to school to get educated. But for a person who has pure love for Krishna, all the Vedic knowledge, it emanates from his heart. He can immediately sense what is good, what is wrong, the psychology of all the living entities, everything actually a pure devotee can sense. So much dependence is stressed for all the living entities to be dependent on Krishna. Henasthana tik vijayi jaibe jiniya samsare ye apatrishta gushibe suniya. If this Tikvijayi is victorious in such a place as this, then scholars all over the world will condemn us. So here, it was an anxiety created. Actually, Krishna never tolerates his devotee being put in an anxious way, whether it is in Vrindavan or whether it is in Navadip. So now actually, Mahaprabhu, he comes into picture. Oh, my scholarly community people, the residents of Navadip, they're having so much anxiety. So here, it's the now we can say the pastime of Mahaprabhu in order to give a protection from this embarrassment. He is enacting this pastime. Yujite Bakra Sakti Achetana Shane Saraswati Bara Jare Dilena Apane. Yet who has the ability to debate with one who has received the blessings of Saraswati? So that's what it happened everywhere. But here in Navadip, he is going to be Ulda because he is now face to face with Nimai Pandit. Saraswati Bhakta Jara Jikhvai Apane Manushya ki bade kobu pare tana shone. Since Saraswati resides on his tongue, how can a human being debate with him? Saraswati is an eternal maidservant of Nimai. So such pastimes happen because it in the material world, everyone is proud of their academic career. So that proud of being highly educated makes them fly high in the air only to fall down. But here actually it's a protection given by Mahaprabhu to the residents of Navadip. Sahasra Sahasra Maha Maha Bhattacharya Sabai Chintena Mone Chadi Sarva Karya. Thousands of great Bhattacharyas left their duties out of anxiety. Because the Bhattacharyas, they don't want to become the disciple of Tikvijayi Keshwar Kashmir. So they left the holy town of Navadip. Only little Nimai could face Tikvijayi Keshwar Kashmir. Chaturdike Shobai Kore na Kolahala Jivana Gaura Joto Vidya Bala. All over Navadip, people were heard saying, now we will understand the power of our knowledge. So knowledge, wisdom, empowerment. So it actually gives confidence for debate. Unless one is confident, he cannot debate with the opponents. So we all know that knowledge is power. Whatever actions one perform in this world, the impetus is only knowledge. A thief steals because he thinks that only by stealing he can earn. So it is simple by the sinful knowledge. So like that, yeah, every person, whatever actions they perform, actually it is impelled only by knowledge. So knowledge is very, very powerful. And that's why for devotees who has knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, their actions are completely different from materialistic person, because they have the right knowledge, what to do, what not to do, what to think, what not to think, what to execute, what are all the activities being forbidden. So Mahaprabhu, Krishna, never tolerates the false pride. So generally it's shown by the demoniac people. The false pride is immediately crushed. And that's, we have to understand, actually it's the special mercy of the Lord. So here actually normal people, when they debate, only their ego increase. And we all know that with this false ego, how many wars have happened, how many people have lost their life. But here Krishna is crushing the false pride with his gentle behavior. Nimai. Yeshoba Britanta Jato Padu Jargone Kohilena Nija Guru Gaurangera Sthane. The students went and informed the teacher Gauranga of all this incident. Mahaprabhu. So naturally the residents of Navadip were dependent on Mahaprabhu. So like in Vrindavan, the associates of Krishna, they were always dependent on Krishna. Whatever danger or anxiety they have, they used to come and then open their mind and heart to Krishna. And Krishna immediately wipes it out. So here, actually it's a embarrassing situation in Navadip. So they came and then complained to Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu gently smiled. That's why the Lord's pastimes are always transcendental. Like the spiritual masters are transcendental. Many problems may come. So when it is taken to the spiritual master, when it is taken to Srila Prabhupada, he immediately smiles, or sometimes he goes grave, but he gives an instruction in which the problems get solved. So now Mahaprabhu is just smiling on the residents of Navadip. Eka Tikvijayi Saraswati Bhashakori Sarvatra Jiniya Bhule Jaya Patra Dori. A Tikvijayi who has been blessed by Saraswati and who has conquered his followers throughout the world has come with his certificate of victory. So he is demanding the Jayapatra. And actually the debate, it is actually only in one way waste of our energy. The energy is given by Lord Krishna as long as the soul exists in this material body, only to serve Krishna. Bhakti, love, everything means only to serve. So actually Mahaprabhu, when he shows his special mercy, so it means that actually that's the real fortune for all the jivas. Asti Goda Dola Loka Haneka Samhati Samprati Ashiya Hoilo Navadipe Sthiti. He has arrived in Navadip surrounded by elephants, horses, palanquins, and many followers. So good build-up. So for a hero, if he comes in the first scene, the cinema, then a good build-up has to be given in order to get the attention. Even for a person to get an appointment, immediately if the appointment is given, they will not appreciate. So they will make the person to sit in a lobby or in a resting room, and then there would be many slogans. At least 2 minutes, 5 minutes, he has to be kept waiting. Then if he sees the person, that build-up in the background should be given. Then only he will get the feeling, oh, I am meeting a very important person. So the same build-up was given to Tikvijayi Keshava Kashmir. He comes with thousands and thousands of elephants and horses. just by seeing this huge army, like if a person is escorted by many vehicles, then the general people, they are amazed. It's like a victory sign. So he is arriving in Navadip. Navadipe apanara pratidvandvichai nahe jaya patra mage shakal shobai. Just come to Navadip seeking an opponent. Otherwise, he demands a certificate of victory from the scholars of Navadip. Come on, give the certificate. Give it in writing. That's all. He doesn't bother. Only certificate. So it also highlights how this potency of Maya is putting a screen on all the fallen conditioned souls by depriving devotional service to Krishna. Like innumerable living entities, they wander in this universe with various mistaken ideas. So here, when he approached Nimai Pandit, Nimai Pandit, we know that actually first actually Digvijayi Kesava Kashmiri criticized Nimai Pandit, saying that you are an ordinary, elementary grammatical Sanskrit teacher. So actually, in the management, if you continuously find a fault with others, they would come under your control. Like many maid servants come to the home, but only some could bring maid servant under their control. Even if she does some duty, indirectly some hint should be given, she is not proper. Then she will think, my master, what I have to do, then he falls in line. So like actually here, that is actually a managerial principle. To bring other person under control, he has to be snubbed, snubbing the person. Even big political leaders from big countries, if they meet other political leaders, they sometimes used to snub so that they come under him. So he was snubbing Nimai Pandit. Nimai Pandit, what he did, he artificially increased his pride. He's saying that, oh, I have heard about you. So you are speaking fluently. I know that actually your poem is very, very powerful. So he artificially increased his pride. So generally, like Narasimha killing Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu sometimes apparently seen that his hand is on the upper end. Then later only Narasimha kills Hiranyakashipu. Like that here, he gives a sense of comfortability, increasing his artificial pride, only to be later crushed. And then we all know that actually Mahaprabhu's request, he glorified Ganga with his 100 verses, and Mahaprabhu, he found actually 5 literary ornaments and 5 falls. Mahaprabhu didn't say only the fall, he told the 5 literary ornaments, and he also exposed the 5 falls, the contradictory meanings, and also the perception of being misunderstood, analogies not being proper, and also not sound logical reason. Immediately, actually, since the power to think and power to speak is Krishna, actually he became completely dumb. He couldn't speak a single word before Nimai Pandit. Nimai was saying, see, I am actually finding these 5 faults. Now you should refute. So he was completely vacant in his mind. He couldn't even speak a word. And we all know that he immediately went, and then he asked for forgiveness from Saraswati. Saraswati came in the dream and then told that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You go and then surrender to him. Shuni Shishya Gonera Bachan Gauramani Ashiya Kohite Lagi Lena Tattva Bani. Hearing the words of his student, the jewel-like Gauranga smiled and began to describe the nature of the Supreme Lord. So here actually, this is the how actually with this gentle behavior, Mahaprabhu, when he defeated Tikvijayi, Keshava, Kashmiri, actually it happened only in a secluded place. He actually came with the thousands of horses and elephants, with the thousands of followers. But due to the arrangement of the Lord, see how he is dealing with the person. Actually, he was surrounded only by his associates who have so much affection for Nimai. Even when Chankasi requested Nimai, let us speak privately, Mahaprabhu told that they are all my personal associates. You can speak frankly with me. All confidentiality will be maintained. Mahaprabhu, like he doesn't want to be separated from his personal associate. But on the other hand, by Lord's arrangement, he came alone to have darshan of Ganga, and then later he was defeated. And even when the students were laughing, Nimai Pandit told that you should not laugh. That's the gentle behavior. So actually, that's a lesson. Actually, we are all in the practical world. We are facing so many problems. How we respond is very, very important for all the problems that we face. Sometimes, I mean, for an example, a person can even go and then break the ATM, and then he can take 1 lakh, claiming that in my account there is only 1 lakh, and now I am breaking the ATM and taking only 1 lakh which belongs to my account. Someone, in order to take 1 lakh from the bank, he can go and then he can fight with the manager, with the treasurer, but still they have to give money. He can still be in an argument or show his arrogance, opulence. Rajasic. The first one is tamasic. And then he can also gently behave with the manager and the treasurer and get whatever 1 lakh he has in his account. So like that, actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Nama Sankirtan moment, how we responded to situation, because actually there are certainly many interesting pastimes covered in Caitanya Bhagavata, Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Charitamrita. But at the end of the day, what are we going to learn from that? So actually, one should become ardent follower of Lord Chaitanya, and he should know how to speak sweetly. Even by speaking sweetly, things can be worked out rightly. Mahaprabhu did that. He defeated with his gentle behavior. It was not at all an embarrassment to Tikvijayi. He didn't feel morose. He didn't feel upset. His situation was not sad. But he was lamenting that I didn't get the favor of Goddess Saraswati. I had committed some aparadh. That's why Saraswati didn't reside on my tongue. But anyhow, actually, his false pride was crushed, and that's the real mercy, wherein he could get the real transcendental knowledge, which is none other than worshipping Lord Krishna. So actually, this materialistic education in Krishna Leela, we all know that Krishna, when he kills the demons, actually there is a specific anartha connected to that. And that's why actually Trinavarta, we all know that Putana, then Sakatasura, then Trinavarta. False guru is Putana, bad habit is Sakatasura, material scholarship pride is Trinavarta. I have so much degrees, and then flying in the air. Then what happened to Trinavarta? He just fell down. By studying higher and higher, actually the devotional service, I mean the materialistic education, devotional service gets blocked. It doesn't mean that if one has a material education, he cannot have spiritual education. But the thing is that in every semester, they used to have 6 books, 8 books. When he does a graduation, 50, 60 big books they used to read. And when we give Bhagavad Gita, they say that, oh, sleep is coming. So they have already put many unwanted things in the mind and heart. And when transcendental knowledge is being revealed by Krishna, by the acharyas, they are not ready to accept that. So if they have not accepted the transcendental knowledge as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, it means that they are flying high in the air only to fall down. They get bewildered and one day actually they lament. And similarly, Dhenakasura carrying unwanted thing, the donkey, carrying unwanted education, but not carrying the real thing, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So Dhenakasura killed by Balaram, it indicates that actually whatever the anarthas representing the demons killed by Balaram, we have to put into practice. It means that if we hear the pastime of Krishna killing Sakatasura, naturally the bad habit goes off. But here when we hear the pastime of Balaram killing the Dhenakasura, it means that actually we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Caitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Caitanya Bhagavata daily and regularly. Then only actually the ignorance gets dispelled. We are born in this world only out of ignorance. So we have to put a special endeavor, like a Pralambasura killed by Balaram. Pralambasura came as a friend. So even the illegal relationship, they come as a boyfriend to girlfriend. So they have to make a personal attempt, endeavor to control their mind and senses. Dvivida, Sadhuninda. We cannot claim that till now I have not committed any Vaishnava aparat, so we cannot relax our mind. Daily we should be aware that I should not commit any offense to the devotees. So like that, actually, if we reflect on this particular chapter, so Krishna does not tolerate the false pride. And when the false pride is being crushed, it's actually the real mercy, showing the transcendental knowledge, which should culminate in devotional service to Lord Krishna. And Krishna is all merciful. And the person, whoever comes under the orbit of a spiritual master or in the disciplic succession, they are all considered to be very, very fortunate. It's a nice, interesting event which happened in the banks of the Ganga. And we can also relate how Nimai Pandit was defeated by Ishvara Puri, and how on the other hand Dikvijayi Keshava Kashmiri was defeated by Nimai. So it shows the power of devotion, the power of bhakti. That actually Nimai becomes subservient to the Premi Bhaktas. Actually, Mahaprabhu is showing that special Leela through this fasting. Okay, with this I am ending. So, whatever question, doubts, realization you have, you can comment on that. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. Such a very, very instructive class, Prabhuji. Very nice lesson. I just got only one thing, main thing, that whatever we have, we should not have proud for anything, whatever we have, wealth, beauty, or whatever. But instead of that, if we don't have any devotional service to the Krishna lotus feet, or we don't love to Krishna, everything is useless. We should be humble for whatever we have, and we have to be grateful to Krishna that Krishna, you gave this one, you gave this one. So we always we don't forget Krishna. If we grateful to Krishna, we never forget. But in this age of Kali, we see the people, they have so much pride for whatever they have, but they shouldn't have to pride. And this is the most good lesson for me, that whatever we have always grateful to Krishna, not for our things, whatever we have, not proud. and we should be always humble to everyone and always do devotional service. We should engage ourselves in devotional service on the lotus feet of the Krishna and serve devotees and everyone. Thank you,
Nice
Prabhuji.
realization, Yashamati Mataji.
If anybody have any questions, please go ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the beautiful class. And Shrimati Mataji gave a wonderful realization. Yeah, even it's my realization too, Prabhu. Thank you so much. This pastime teaches us to be how we have to be humble and how we should not offend any Vaishnava. We should be very careful with every activity that we are doing. So we should not offend anyone. We don't know what the level of the other person. We should be very careful when we are dealing to everyone, even it is lower to us or higher to us in age or anything. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Very grateful to you.
Thank you, Vinita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams, our glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, for the beautiful session, wonderful slides, I should say, and how much effort you have put into in explaining this. So thank you for covering this entire pastime with so many instructive lessons. And as everybody said, that this pastime teaches us to how to become humble. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your efforts. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Kirtida Sundari Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय प्लीज एक्सेप्ट माय humble obeisances. Prabhuji, your class is always very, very inspiring, Prabhuji. It's remind me that in Shri Radha Gopinath there is a fountain. So water is coming and जितनी स्पीड में water नीचे आता है इतनी स्पीड में ऊपर से ऊपर जाता है इतनी स्पीड में नीचे आता है. So we should not proud of any seva, everything, whatever it's a preaching or garland seva or cooking seva or book distribution seva. Whatever seva is given by Srimati Shri Radha Rani and Lord Krishna and our Guru Parampara and Srila Prabhupada mercy and Srila Gurudev mercy only we are qualified to speak something and to do any seva. So that whenever we have a proud that वो जैसे पानी ऊपर जाता है और फट से नीचे आता है ऐसे it's not going to affect to other Vaishnava. So we should be very careful to deal with Vaishnava and we should not by mind also any aparat of any Vaishnava. So Prabhuji, your class is so inspiring. When I am sitting in one corner, hardly 15-20 मिनट पढ़ पाते हैं प्रभु जी, पर वो भी अंदर नहीं जाता है. But when we hear from Suddha Vaishnava Prabhu ji, not only me, but my daughter is working next to Sri Jagannath. Other one is sleeping because he is working 14 hours, Prabhuji. So they all are consciously or unconsciously hear Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha, Krishna Katha. And this is the time we are cooking prasadam for Sri Jagannath, preparing bhoga for Sri Jagannath. So all positive energies came in our prasad also. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Please give your association and blessing, especially your Shridham Vrindavandam Yatra. You prepare from so many places, Prabhuji. Shridham Mayapurdam Yatra. We visit there by Maharaj, but still, Prabhuji, some place we don't know and we हम आपके थ्रू वो आपके चक्षु से हम वहां पे एंटर हो पाए. हरि हरि गौरांगा कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम to your sincere सेवा. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gopinath ki jai.
Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Okay, so
if anybody have any question or realization, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will close the call. If your permission, Prabhuji, we can close the call. Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your enlightening class to us today. And we are very, very grateful to you. And we look forward to your association again in future. So we just close the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyashcha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Caitanya Bhagavat ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Grace Jivana Gaura Hari Prabhuji ki jai.
Guru Gauranga ki jai.
Ki jai. I got the other lesson I like to, Prabhuji, whatever you say, that how we should respond, whatever we got problems or such situation, it is not avoidable. So how we have to do that. I like that one too, Prabhuji. We should be always grateful, and we whatever we get that thing, we have to be humble with gentle behavior. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, once again. Hari Bol. Thank you everyone for joining today's class. We'll meet tomorrow. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.